Steve here from Big Head Tech, and today, case unboxing. They haven't been the most popular, but when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to continue to do them. Some of my case unboxings in the past have been pretty good, so we'll kind of hope that this will be a change of pace. Today, we got the NZXT H510. What we're going to do is we're going to open it up. We're going to go over what I like and don't like about it and see if I can recommend it. Stay tuned. We're going to be testing the fans, and then we're going to be testing some RGB fans that aren't too expensive in this case to see if indeed the fans that come with it are good enough, and if not, can you get some RGB fans for 40 bucks that are much better. So the last NZXT case that I reviewed, I believe, was the Elite 340. It was white and purple, which I still to this day find that to be a really cool color combination. In fact, the guy that ended up buying that system from me, that was during a dark time at Big Head Tech, also bought it for that reason. Okay. So here we go. We have I don't want to call it brushed aluminum, but it's definitely not a shiny gloss finish here. There seems to be, and I don't, this just might be design. Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and open up the side panel here. Let's try to figure out how this works. There looks to be probably thumb screws here, which I find incredibly interesting because thumb screws, or a thumb screw it looks like. There we go. So it's one thumb screw. Interesting. I'm not against it. But let's go ahead and turn this sideways so I can take a look here. Interesting layout. We have all the standoffs pre-installed, which no problem there. We have two fans, one in the top, one in the rear. Unfortunately, these fans definitely look to be more optimized for airflow and not pressure, which where they're located makes sense, but I'm not a big fan of negative pressure, to be 100% honest. So we're going to definitely want to relocate one in the front, if not both. Now, we would do one in the front and then leave the other one in the rear. So let's take a look here at the rear panel. I find it's interesting how these kind of snap on, they don't slide. It's a little bit different. Looking over at the back here, some things I do like. Oh, this is cool. This is actually like cable routing, which is really cool. 24 pin would like route this way. This is not something I've really seen. So in a case that's not super premium from a cost standpoint, that's nice. You have two SSD drive mounts. You have two hard drive mounts down here. We have all of your included hardware most likely in here in resealable bags across the board. Thank you. A user manual in probably a lot of different languages. Zip ties. So this is cool. So this most likely, yes, this only has one front audio port, but it comes with a splitter. I'm okay with that. You can't give one and not include this. Then you're going to put more cost on the consumer. So good job there, NZXT. We have this. Ooh, I like this. So this is pretty neat. This is a front USB or front panel audio header. So what you can do is essentially plug these in earlier on, and then when you go to plug this in, you plug it in right there, which is pretty cool. Now let's take a look at this here. So that would be, yeah, that front panel is listed right here. So now, to be honest, this is only useful for, I would say, non-standard. This front panel actually has a standard layout, so you just plug it into a front panel, which is cool. We have, what is this for? Okay, this is the, looks to be top fan. Good. Rear fan is over here, so that's good. Those are both 3-pin. Now what is this? Ah, USB-C. Yes, this has a front USB-C header. And it has, okay, so the only downside is hopefully your board supports this. So that's pretty much it there. A lot of power supply room here. So far I'm pretty happy. It comes included with everything that you would need. You wouldn't need to buy anything extra, in theory. So there's a lot of room. You can fit really long GPUs. Now at first I was a little bit upset, the fact that you can't remove this front panel, at least not easily. But it looks like we have there's that one. Okay. There we go. So you actually don't need to swing it. So you can mount your fans and then literally place this back in here. Perfect. And then these thumb screws they're captive and they stay on there, which is good because you guys know how I am with thumb screws. I lose them. They are the bane of my existence. Okay. So some of the other things, so you have this brace here, it's more of a cutout. You have at the bottom, you can see where my finger's coming up through. So, you know, you run your USB, HD audio, PCI Express connectors in the front panel, or you can run PCI Express out this way. There's actually a channel up here as well. So, to be honest, what are some things I don't like? So hard drive cage is easy to remove. We have a whole dust filter down here. I'm very curious how that comes out. Ah, okay. Well, I actually didn't really want to remove that, but I thought it was actually going to be a bit difficult. But to see something like that is pretty cool. So, yes, there we go. Perfect. Hard drive cages are easy to remove, and it looks like you can also do SSD mounts here, removable dust filter here. These don't break out, they're actually removable and reattachable to the rear here, so I do like that. So, conclusion. I guess I'll do some B-roll while I talk here. What do I think of this case? Well, it's a $70 case. From a pure feature, what it includes, some little things. Excellent value. We have, you know, the front panel connects into standard with one plug, and it has an adapter for non-standard. You cut down room up to the top for headphone, microphone, and include an adapter, pre-installed standoffs, plenty of zip ties, routed cable channels, like legit routed cable channels, a lot of power supply room, a lot of CPU cooler headroom. I want to say it supports up to like 165 or something like that. Check the specs out. What I don't like, and this is NZXT, they always do this. Their trademark on these cases have been negative air pressure. Now, is it a big deal to mount one of these in the front? No, they make it really easy. So I'm not going to mark them off for having them both exhaust, because realistically, if you can't move a fan, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of trouble building a computer. Okay. But I'm not a fan of the fan. They don't look to be very pressure optimized, and I would really like that in the front. I mean, don't get me wrong. Let me look at the side panels here. So you have, this is the rear side panel. So that's a fair bit of space, because you have, on the other side, this is all open. So you have, here, I have a tape measure. I fell on the ground. Okay. So measuring, we have 1 1/4 inch right here. That's just the vent portion. So if you would have some pressure optimized fans, you could definitely get enough air in. You have the bottom intake, you have the side. So I expect good thermals even in its current setup. What I'll probably do is test it as is, test it with two front. If I have another one of the identical fans, which I don't think I do, I'll test that, and then we're gonna test the 2 in, 1 out, which is the final configuration, and we'll figure out how well it does. But we're putting a very high-end system in here, like a $2,000 system. So even if it doesn't do that well in that test, it's understandable. This is a $70 case. It's very sleek looking. We're actually RGBing the heck out of it, just food for thought. And I'm really excited to see, you know, how well it does. I really hope it does decent, because I really want to recommend this case if the thermals are good, and I think they'll be fine personally. If you like the video, like it, dislike, leave a comment, get subscribed, donate on Patreon, buy this in the description below. And as always, this is Steve from Big Head Tech, and I'll see y'all later on down the road.